Welcome to Simply Business. I'm your host, Taylor Lee, and I'm so excited to have you here. As a business consultant, I've helped countless business owners simplify their strategies and achieve their goals, and now I'm here to bring you this expertise right to your ears. Each episode, I'll be sharing tips and strategies to help you achieve your business goals without the overwhelm. I will also be chatting with business owners and industry experts to share their stories, insights, and lessons they've learned along the way. It's when you do things that don't make sense that creates results that don't make sense, which I think a lot of people need to take away from that as well.
That's a very good way to put it, because we always go with easy answer, something that makes sense, because technically that's going to keep you on the same path. Yeah, it's going to keep you on the same path to what you think you're going to do. It's the decisions you make that go off the path, that is actually what leads to success, because everyone does the same thing every single day. What can you actually do that's different, that's uncomfortable? That is what's going to get you, because no one else is doing it.
Yeah, and I think people think that discomfort is like resistance, and it's like, oh, resistance isn't like a good thing. It should be easy. It should be like #aligned, where that's actually the thing that's going to get you the results, is the thing that feels really eerie. And it's like, this could either be the best decision of your life or the worst, but like you'll never know.
You reckon Elon Musk wakes up every single day thinking, oh, what am I feeling today? What should I do? What's in flow? What's easy? Perfect. Like, no. He's choosing the hardest, most uncomfortable thing you can possibly do, and that has given him the most results.
Yeah, and that's where I want to take this into bodybuilding now.
Yeah.
And I think bodybuilding just gets to be like the outlet for you and in context to this, and people listening, you can apply it to business or whatever it might be. But I think bodybuilding is such a cool sport in that regard, where it's like, it is so hard. And something that also baffles my mind, with so much respect to bodybuilding athletes, is like, you can commit like so much time, energy, effort, sacrifice, discipline to literally not even get an award.
To literally get second call outs, and that might not mean anything to anyone, but you can place first at one comp. 2 years later, you work so hard, day in, day out. 2 years later, you come back, you don't even place. And you have to be okay with that.
It's fucking wild.
And it's terrifying. Like, not going to lie, it's terrifying. But you know that before heading in.
Yeah. Talk to me about that with bodybuilding. What do you believe? Like, you're someone that's had in your career so far in bodybuilding such great success. Mm-hmm. What do you think has separated you from other athletes from the mindset perspective? Because like, no one can, like, you could wave like and dangle any kind of carrots, and Lil's just like, you don't even bat an eyelid. What do you think it is with your mindset? And even again, if we were to go like deep into bodybuilding, you know, people that like they'll binge out on food afterwards. And of course, like, it's not to go into that conversation, but you are so just like dedicated to the cause. Like, why do you think that is with your approach to the sport?
Naturally, I'm a very competitive person, but the second I have a goal or I want to do something, I will do it, like no ifs, no buts. I do believe like I am really good at bodybuilding. Like, I am very disciplined, but I can flip switches. So I think that's what has caused me so much success, because I'm not, well, yes, I am one side of the pendulum when I'm on prep, but when I'm off, I'm not like, okay, switch is off, all discipline goes out the window, binging, doing all the things. Okay, prep starts, back on again. I love it so much that it's like a year-round thing for me. So as soon as like the comp ends and I step off stage, my eye is on the next comp. So I know that what I do from that very moment is going to affect my results the next time. It's going to affect my mindset the next time. So I'm constantly looking in the future now. Not necessarily that's a good thing, but it has helped me significantly to actually like stay on track. I always want to be the best version of myself, and bodybuilding is a sport where no one can do the work for you. It's not like a team sport where someone can let you down and you lose, even though if you're perfect. I know that the only person who can get the results is me. So I have to rely on me. And if something goes wrong, well, it's my fault. If I miss a set, well, it's my fault. So no one else can get the result but me. And I think that has definitely helped me stay a lot more on track towards my goals. Then when you're in prep, there's just like no ifs, no buts. If you make a small little exception as, okay, I'm just going to miss my steps for today. If you miss your steps by 500, it is not going to make a difference at all. But what will, it's going to weaken your mindset to believe that, okay, I can miss 500 steps, so you miss them the next day. Then maybe in 2 weeks' time, you miss 1,000. And the next week, it's like, okay, don't even worry about steps today. I'll do it the next day. Like, you constantly keep falling into that trap. So if you're on 100% from get-go, that is just going to keep in play.
Yeah, and I think like having the bigger picture in mind is actually so important, whether you apply this to something like business. I think it's so often people can get caught up in literally the shiny object, right? So it's like get on stage and like post that on Instagram, where for you it's not about that. It's a cool piece to the puzzle, but it's so much bigger, which I think is an important lesson to apply to anything.
Yeah.
And even with that too, when you said like the small parts, I think even in like business, it's like we can even just settle for like what we need to do, like what's required versus like what's like something so small, so tiny, responding to one more DM, like whatever the thing is that you can do in a day that compounds, because it's actually that compounding effect.
That is what it is as well. Everyone is going to follow their diet. Well, when you're going to like the top level of like competing, everyone's going to follow their diet. Everyone's going to train. Everyone's going to have an off season. Everyone's going to do everything. The only thing that's going to get you that 2% better is actually by going above and beyond. It's like hitting failure, having whole foods, getting in sleep, 7 hours to 8 hours, huge difference.
Yeah.
Lowering your stress levels significantly, like 30 minutes a day to yourself. And it's also though, if your coach says 12,000 steps, don't do 15,000 steps. Like it's also kind of finding that balance, because I know a lot of girls who would go above and beyond, but it's like their body adapts differently. So it's like your mindset has to go above and beyond, not your actions. That's the biggest thing with bodybuilding.
Yeah, and it's literally following the plan, right?
Yeah.
It's like it's the same with like let's just use like posting frequency on social media. Some people will be like, okay, I'm gonna like post an extra post on social media, and yes, there'll be some gurus that are like, post as much as you can, but it's like, okay, but if you don't have the right plan and the right strategy, you're actually burying yourself in a deeper grave versus actually just trusting the process of what
Yes.
someone's told you to do.
Yeah.
And I heard like with the compounding effect, this was like the biggest game changer for me as an analogy. You can like not brush your teeth like one day. No one will probably notice. You probably won't notice. You go a few days, you'll probably start noticing. You'll go a week or two, people feel like, oh, you have like a smelly breath. Like people will be able to tell. You go like a year, 2 years, 5 years without brushing your teeth are falling out. There's no like reverse of that.
That's a really cool way of looking at it.
And I'm like, it's the same, right, with like the reps, because like I can be guilty of this in training, like full transparency. Where
Yeah.
it's like, oh yeah, like 10 reps instead of 12, but it's like that, like 2 reps has a fucking compounding effect
Yeah.
in whatever area you're applying it to for what you're progressing towards.
Because if you're already then choosing the slightly easier option, you're already training your mind to think of slightly easier things throughout the day without even meaning it. So much happens subconsciously.
Yeah.
By the end of prep, I'm parking on the other side of the car park without thinking of it. Right now, I'm parking as close as I can to the door because
Yeah.
I don't need to do that. But then as soon as prep starts, you're like, okay, you have to constantly think of it to do the thing. And the more you do the thing, the easier it gets. You don't even think about it at the end. Like you said with brushing your teeth, you don't even think about it anymore. It's just something you do because you've compounded actually doing it.
Yeah. Well, our conscious mind takes up 5%. Our unconscious is 95%. So we need to train the programming of that to always choose. And something my dad always used to say to us, which I don't necessarily know if it was healthy, but he was like, catch yourself being lazy. And I'm like, it's always the same with like just the small things. Like, I can do that tomorrow. It's like, just catch that and literally just choose different, because that's what you're normalizing as your baseline, exactly like you said.
That's a good way of looking at it.
And I'm like, this is actual, like in my eyes and my perspective at least, like this is actual discipline. I think we can sometimes associate discipline with like your David Goggins, right?
Yes.
Or like your Ned, what's his?
Ned
Brockman.
Brockman? Yeah.
Yeah. It's like the people that are just like the extremists, which is like sick, and hats off, respect, insane scenes. But it's like, to me, especially for Gen Pop, I think when we see discipline, that's what we associate it to. So then it feels like such a big gap, and it feels like there's too much separation for your general person or business owner to be someone that's disciplined, where I just love that you're actually just simplifying. It's like, it doesn't actually have to be super complex.
A lot of people look at the word discipline and they're scared of it. They think it's hard. They think it's scary. They think it's this whole entire thing. But at the end of the day, discipline is literally just self-love and devotion. If you love yourself enough to want to achieve a goal, you're just going to be disciplined. And it's almost like turning the phrase around. If you think discipline is like a negative connotation, don't use that word anymore. Just think, okay, I need to build up this habit. Because that habit is literally the same thing as discipline. It doesn't have to be running 30 Ks a day for 10 days straight. I was actually listening to Grace Beverly this morning talking about discipline, and she said especially females will actually say they're not disciplined because they think of discipline as such a big thing. They're like, oh no, I don't run 10 Ks every single morning. But you're actually disciplined enough to write your to-do list, to tick those things off, to cook dinner, to go grocery shopping. Those are the small things that actually make the difference. It's not doing all these crazy attributes, because that's huge goals that other people have. Discipline is actually small little habits that just add up through the day.
And if we can't acknowledge like the small things that we're doing, why do we think we're going to be able to acknowledge like the big things that we're doing? Like at the end of the day, if you can't acknowledge that even if it's in a fitness journey, like if right now you being disciplined is hitting your 4 sessions in a week, even if they're not the full reps, the full sets, like whatever, that's actually a win. And if you can't acknowledge that, then you're not going to be able to acknowledge how you can take it a step further.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you feel like, especially being in the fitness space as a coach, separates the people that gets results versus the people that don't get results?
I would say victim mentality and patience. Those are the two biggest things. I'm going to go with patience first, is people think they need results right this second. I do struggle as a coach to tell people that's going to take a whole year, because of who wants to sign up and say it's going to take a whole year? But do you think I think I started training properly? Like, I did cheerleading my whole entire life. I've built up that baseline. But I started training in the gym in 2020, I'm pretty sure it was, or even 2021. It's taken like 4 years, 5 years to get to where I am now. It's going from like having a pancake to a peach in 4 years, not in a quick 6-week program. It takes so long. And don't look at it as that whole long journey. Just look at it day by day, because then you're going to look back and be like, oh my God, thank God I started, not stopped when I thought I wasn't getting results. They take so much longer than you think. And then also the victim mindset, or the mentality when they think that everything around them is like hard, or they're constantly in the negative mindset. They're like, I couldn't get to the gym today because this happened, this happened, this happened. And yeah, of course, that's going to be life. It's going to happen now and then. But the people who actually want the results will make it work, and they're not going to find all these excuses. There's so many things that happen in my life where no way do I want to get to the gym. Like, I was in off season, did not need to go train, broke up with my partner that morning, 7 years, went to the gym 2 hours later. Not because I wanted to, but because that's just like what I did. And what's that going to do? If I'm just sitting there crying at home, may as well just go do something. So I think that's the biggest thing that people get lost in, or they'll be like, I didn't have groceries, so I went through Macca's. Didn't have groceries, literally walk out of your car, go to 7-Eleven. They've got much better options.
Yeah,
it's just those tiny little things. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Something you said about like the journey, like the 4 years of how long it's taken you to grow your booty, like all of the things. And this is the conversation we've had about comparison in the past, which I want to bring onto this podcast, because I was literally saying to Lil, we're walking on the treadmill, I'm like, one thing I don't understand about comparison is like, it's almost just another way of tapping into being a victim and being poor me when we do compare, because it doesn't actually make sense that I compare to Lil from a physical body perspective. Yes, we've got genetics and our body's going to be different. But if I look at you and I go, you're lean, you have insane muscles, you've got amazing glutes, you're so strong, what a fucking like cop out to you.
Yeah.
Based on all of the time, energy, effort that you've put into training, hitting your sessions, macros, like all of the things. How does it make sense that I compare when I'm literally not doing the same thing as you?
Exactly.
And I'm like, yes, with the online spaces, it can be a bit hard with, say, business, but it's like, okay, what does like comparing, like how's that a benefit to you? Because you get secondary gain from complaining about it, right? And it's like, and you don't have to look at something. So for as long as I compare to you and go, Lil's got the results, I don't have to train hard.
Yeah.
Like you get secondary gain to it. And I'm like, I feel like especially in the like bodybuilding physical space, comparison can be such a huge thing, especially online.
Yeah.
But I'm like, it literally makes
no sense.
No sense. Like if we actually unpack it, it makes no sense.
Yeah. It's also, at the end of the day, comparison is just a form of jealousy. You're jealous of what someone else has because you're not doing that. I always say there's a difference between being inspired by someone and comparing yourself to someone. And yes, we all do it. Even I do it. But at the end of the day, I do it because when I compare, I immediately put someone else on a pedestal, and for no reason at all. Like, you don't know actually what they do in comparison to you do. Let's say someone has bigger delts than me. I'm like, oh my gosh, they've got bigger delts than me. I've been trying for so long and I'm not doing it. Realistically, they actually could have been training for 10 years and I've been training for 5. They could have been doing, for example, they could be on performance enhancing drugs. I'm natural. There's so many other factors that go into that. So it's like, why are you constantly comparing yourself to other people when there doesn't literally make sense? Let's say, for example, too, kind of taking out the body image, Tori's very like a lot more calm than me. If you know our friendship dynamic, I'm like very sporadic and she's very calm. And for the longest time, I was like, something's wrong with me. I'm like, I'm constantly stressed and anxious and on the go, chaotic type energy. And she's constantly calm and it just must be her hormones and things like that. And she's gotten to this point. Cool. End of the day, she journals, she saunas, she listens to podcasts, she walks, she does all the things that actually make her nervous system calm. I actually didn't do any of that. So I was comparing myself for things I wasn't even doing. The second I started implementing them, I stopped comparing because I'm like, well, I'm doing them and it's making me feel better. No, I'm not perfect. No, I'm not up to that level, but I feel so much better for it. So you always compare when you know you're not doing enough.
It's always a mirror. And it's like, rather than blaming the mirror that you're looking at, like looking in, look at what's like, it's reflecting back to you.
Yeah.
Because people can be our triggers can be our biggest teachers in the most productive way. And of course, there's also a level where we can also take it 75 layers deep, and it doesn't need to be deep. Sometimes it can just be as simple as, wow, that person actually inspires me exactly like you said. But I think it's so important for people listening, because it's like, okay, for as long as you are comparing, what don't you have to look at, and what benefit do you get? And it's like, what's the lesson in it for you? And that wraps up another episode of Simply Business. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to today's episode. If that you enjoyed today's conversation, please feel free to share it onto your socials and tag me. I love seeing all of your shares and feedback on the episode. If that you're feeling extra generous, please feel free to follow me over on Instagram, Facebook, or TikTok at Taylor Lee Consulting. And a like and subscribe wherever you listen to this podcast would be greatly appreciated. I'll catch you in the next episode.